Okay, so, and I can, if you want to email me through YouTube, it's got that email system, highly sophisticated thing. I can probably send you this outline, and you'll have it. And then you can play around with it and see if it's something that's useful to you. So, medical supply. I'm a diabetic. I have extra insulin. I have more insulin probably than I'll probably use. But, prescriptions, often you get prescriptions earlier than you're supposed to. So if your prescriptions end and you have no more, on a certain day of the month, you can usually get those prescriptions filled a week early, maybe sooner than that, and that would give you extra. And then the next month you get extra again, and then the next month after that you get extra again. That's an easy way to do it. Another way is you get an extra prescription and you pay cash for it, depending on the generics. Maybe you can do it and get away with it. It all depends on what your doctor would let you do. It's a good thing to have extra medical prescriptions, because even if it's not a big bad thing that you can't get into the store to get your prescriptions refilled, at least you have something that'll last a week. Right now there's a storm in Buffalo they're digging out of. Somebody can't get to the pharmacy to get their prescription filled right now. They're saying, gee, I shouldn't have waited to the last minute to refill my prescription. So, that's just a way to have extra, First aid supplies. You should have a first aid kit. You probably do. Or maybe you just have Band-Aids. You should have a first aid kit. You should have like a book on first aid to tell you, how to take care of different things that could happen. A lot of people are very dependent on phones and smartphones and Googling, but if the system goes down for cell phone service, you're not going to be able to Google anything through a cell phone. What's the chances of that happening? I don't know. I don't know what the chances of that happening, but often when there's a disaster and it's a man-made disaster like 9/11, the cell phone services get shut down. Is there a chance that could happen in your neighborhood? I don't know. Is there? Have you looked? Have you thought about it? These things happen. Clothing, do you have enough clothing? Personal hygiene supplies. Do you have enough stuff for your wife, or your girlfriend, or your daughter? What are you going to do? Do you have condoms to have on hand just in case your daughter brings home his boyfriend and they're stuck together for a week or 2 weeks, or a month or 2 months? Do you have something there? Say, here, take these. I don't approve of you doing something, but take these anyway. Just say it. You got to kind of think outside the box. You got to kind of look at it from an adult and evaluate your situation. You could kind of go into a box and say this stuff will never happen. You ever stock on stuff in your house? Why did you stock up on it? Was it just because it was on sale, or you want to have extra? Cooking your food. What if your power goes off and you don't have your electric stove? I have an electric stove over there. What am I going to do? Right now, I used to have a propane stove. I don't have that anymore because the camper stove doesn't work. So, what am I going to do? I don't really have an option for that. Boil water. That's probably something I should be thinking about. How to boil water without, there's some jet stoves out there and some rocket stoves, and it's definitely something that's on my wish list, so I should be doing something about that also. It's all options. I don't really have a hot plate. If I had a hot plate, I could run it off the generator, so maybe that's on my wish list, to get my hands on a little hot plate to jet boil water, and then at least you can cook eggs and stuff like that on it. So thank you for telling me about that, because if I didn't talk to you guys, I would never even thought about doing something to replace that electric stove. Thank you much out there. You're helping me out. Clothing. Do you have extra clothing? At this time of year, do you have extra? You know, if it gets really cold in this house, you know, I'm going to be bundling up. You know, extra socks. You know, long underwear. Although right now, long underwear, yeah. Now I got 3 layers on. So, it gets real cold in here. If the heat wasn't working, I'd be putting on layers. And that's what you've got to think about. You know, where are you living and how is the elements going to affect you? Recently, we've been getting cold temperatures. Every state, you know, this week, every state in this country has been below freezing. I mean, granted, that's only 31 degrees maybe, or 30 degrees some places. But some places getting 30 degrees is really cold. You know, here, that's a heat wave at the moment. So, because we're at the 20s right now. But there are other places that are a lot colder than that, are well below zero. Which is crazy since it's only November. Gloves, mittens, hats. Merino wool. Merino wool is a good thing to have for wool, if you can tolerate wool. Because it'll mix away the perspiration on your skin. And, you know, raincoats, umbrellas. What about clothespins? You don't think to have clothespins, but if your dryer's not working, you know, if you're running a generator but you can't run your dryer because it uses too much voltage, you know, you're not going to be running your dryer. You're not going to be running your hot water heater. So, you know, you could if you got a piece of rope, you can stick it up and hang up clothes, but you have clothespins to keep the clothes on the clothesline? I don't know. Do you? It just seems kind of crazy, doesn't it? Oops. Wow. Yeah, that's my beard. Growing my beard out for that special day in December